You create a safe container through making agreements, making sacred agreements. So these agreements are for this event, but there's a reason why these exist at this event. It's because it creates safety, and safety allows us to drop, and that drop creates intimacy. So I'm going to translate these agreements to how you would do that in your life as a couple or in relationship. And it's not just in your primary relationship. It could be with friends. It could be with employees. It can really extend into any area of life that you choose. But it's important that we make these agreements. First one is the purpose of your relationships. And the purpose of you being here is to enjoy it. Yeah, some people get into trouble with that because some people would say, well, no, the purpose I'm here is to fix my relationship or to work on myself. And all of that, I assume, is there to bring you to your joy, no? If you keep the intention joy, you will get there so much faster. I'm telling you, if you make your intention this weekend joy, all the things you need to look at that are keeping you from your joy will show up. You don't need to worry about that. So can we make the agreement that the purpose is joy? Yes. And that all your relationships going forward, that the purpose you're with somebody is to come into your joy together? Yes. That's interesting. There's a less of a yes than in the first one. So you are okay to have fun time here, but joy in your relationship? Nah, that's not possible. That's the reason you're together with anybody, is to come into your joy. Yeah, it's really, really cool. All right, great. Anybody not willing to do that or hold that as true? Thank you. Next one. This is more of a statement of intent. The greatest gift you can give to your partner is to be a fully healthy you. Therefore, can you agree to take responsibility for you coming into your joy and not be the one responsible for bringing your partner into theirs? Anybody not? Thank you. Next, we agree to be real and share what moves in the now moment. So this agreement is not so much a promise. Don't think of these agreements as, oh my God, I have to, and if I don't, I've done something wrong and I've broken the rules. You're setting intentions with this. So the intention is to speak and share what's real and in the moment. So to share with presence and to share what is present. It's those two qualities of communication that are absolutely critical. That's really, really important. Can we agree, not only in this event, but as you practice communicating with your partner, that you begin to communicate with presence, with all of you, to share what's real, what's up, what's actually moving. Doesn't mean you can't speak about what happened in the past, because if it's up now, share it, but it's up now because it's moving now. And to share what's true. Can you do that? Anybody not? Cool. Thank you. Next one is critical for here and in your relationships. Please agree to not fix, offer advice, teach, or rescue each other. This will be really hard. This is a tough one because, it's not that a lot of us are a bunch of coaches in the room. It's not just that. It's our natural way of actually being, in fact, is to help others. But we've got a cross wire. We think that we help others by telling others what to think, say, or do, to help them on their path. And it's actually exacerbated because others often come to you and say, tell me what to do. And then you enable their helplessness by telling them what to do. And what I'm suggesting is that what if the best thing you can do is to be fully in you, in your joy, hold quality space, maybe, and just energetically invite them and make them feel so safe that they come into their clarity instantly. What if that is the way to awakening? Is that all the clarity, all the love, all that they need is waiting to come into them, but they're blocked because they don't feel safe, and you become the key to unlocking the safety, not through your words of fixing, educating, teaching, but in fact, holding. And in that space, boom, they open. Have you been an influence? Have you been an effect? Yes. But you're not top top-down trying to teach them, give them advice, because that creates a non-peer-based dynamic that prevents intimacy. Does that make sense? And also, if you end up, now it's okay, I'm going to be teaching in this retreat. I would hope so. You've kind of paid for that. But it's in a setting where you've bought into it. But with your intimate relationships, it doesn't serve for you and your partner to get into those dynamics. And often what you'll find is that if you end up noticing that you're trying to fix your partner, just realize that you're trying to fix yourself through them. That's usually what's happening. You're trying to fix yourself through the other. Because you are me, cleverly camouflaged as you. And because your partner is a mirror to all that you like and you don't like, if there's something that you think needs fixing, you're seeing imperfection. And the truth is that there's nothing imperfect there, but you've judged it to be imperfect because some frequency that you're witnessing is not good over here. So you try to change that to make this feel better. That's the rescue. That's the need to fix. So by owning what needs to be fixed over here, you release off the hook the person that you're trying to rescue. Is this clear? Cool. Everyone agree to not fix, teach, rescue, give advice, unless it's invited first. Everyone agree to do that? Yes. Wonderful. Thank you. Anybody not? Next one is you agree to offer your responsiveness, your spontaneous, generous responsiveness to the best of your ability at any given moment. Sometimes you may be closed and shut down, and to try and be spontaneously responsive may be feeling fake. But as much as you are able, you give of your heart generously, whether it's people up on stage, whether it's others asking questions, whether it's with your practice partners, with your partner in circle, that you take responsibility for giving all of your presence. You take responsibility for your energy, and you give all that you've got this weekend. You willing to do that? Thank you. Anybody not? Now notice, some of these agreements you may think, well, this is kind of obvious. Of course I'm going to give my best and be generous. But when we make this unspoken spoken, it creates a solidness in the container. So we create a better container for ourselves and the group when we make the unspoken spoken. Now, that's so important in your relationships at home or with your partner, is get clear what's in, what's out. Let's agree on what the purpose is of our relationship. Let's look at how we can be together in a way that works. But honey, why do we need to go through this? I get it, it's fine right now. Why do we need to do this? But what if by doing this, we can create more safety and we can come into our joy even more? And if we fall out of our joy, if we get triggered into our pain body, we can find our way home quicker. How about that? And they go, that sounds good. You may have to sell it, in other words, to your partner. No third-party talk. Bring that into your relationship as well, which means saying to your partner, honey, when you're not around, when I'm with my guy friends or when I'm with my women friends, if you come up, I'm going to agree to talk about you in an uplifting way. And that includes analyzing. I'm not going to complain and moan and bring out my pain in relationship to you. Unless, here's the unless. You see, because sometimes it's important that we do have a space. We do have friends that we can go to confide in and get clear and process sometimes the undigested stuff that goes on in our relationships. But the key here, the modification that you make in your relationship, is that you agree on the people that feel safe to both of you around who you go to before you go to them. And you make a list of these are the people that we feel really good, that we both feel safe. Because have you ever met people who are really fans of your relationship, but have you also met people who kind of aren't? Whether you're in a relationship now or not, well, perhaps that's the reason you're not. Who knows? But, I've been in a situation where the friends were almost trying to put a wedge there. For whatever reason, whatever the agenda, not everybody is completely bias-free. That agendas can run and they can cause real problems, So that's an important piece too. Next one. We agree, this is a great one to add to your actual relationship at home. We agree to not communicate in absolutes. So the agreements here is that you, during this weekend, must never say never. You must always refrain from absolutes, which includes always, never, and things like that. Have you ever had a conversation with your partner and you say, you never do the dishes? And then what happens? Your partner says, back in 1984, I did do the dishes, so there. And because when we say never, it creates defensiveness, and we automatically bring up the evidence to point out the moments that we did in fact do that. If you want to have a smoother existence in partnership, do not use the words always or never, ever. Everyone agree? Anybody not? Thank you. Next one, we agree to not confront each other without invitation or hold each other accountable unless it is requested. We agree not to confront each other without invitation or hold each other accountable. What that basically means is, in this event, if you notice somebody going through a practice and they've reached a certain depth or reached a certain vulnerability or they've reached a point in their ability to communicate in a certain way, don't push them further where they feel they don't want to go. Honor where they are and know in your heart that all healing has its time, and celebrate the small steps that they have taken on their journey. And this is so important for you to bring in your relationships at home. We're so often the person that we have an investment in our partner getting it, opening more, being more available, feeling us more, understanding us more, listening to us more. And then we kind of make wrong their level of presence, their level of connection, their level of being in their body and embodiment, or whatever it may be. Be so vigilant of that part of you that wants to push your partner further than they're able to be in that moment. And something miraculous is available for you. If you accept your partner as they are, where they are, without making them wrong, you will notice them drop much quicker to the very state that you long for them to connect to. They will reach there through your love, not through your judgment. And even better is stay over here. So in this room, it's all about notice that as people go through their process, contain your need to make them go further and love them where they're at. Can you do that? Anybody not? Thank you. The second piece of this is around accountability. And accountability means in the process of our own awakening, we sometimes can get very clear very quickly about the things that we want to change in our life. It's going to be very clear, in fact, over the next few days, that many of you are going to realize things that you do that simply don't work. And you're going to want to change them. And you're going to want to celebrate your want to change them. And it's going to be so tempting for your partner to listen to your newfound longing, your newfound aha, and then in a week's time, confront them with the accountability that says, last week I heard you say that you were going to do this, this, and this. Why are you slipping? I feel like you've broken a deep promise. I'm being wounded right now. My pain body's triggered. I feel like a 3-year-old. I am betrayed. You said that you would love me forever and ever, and that this feeling of our connection is going to be lasting forever, and I don't feel it right now. You're a lying bastard. That doesn't work so much. So the invitation is, as we give ourselves permission to come into our new heartfelt longing, can we allow ourselves to be there without holding each other accountable to doing anything about it? To give it time to land. To give it time to land. That just because you come up with a longing around how you want to be in the world doesn't mean you have to do anything to actualize that. That's been the problem in the world, is that as soon as we come up with what we want to do differently, we feel we have to do something to implement it. And then that brings up the fear of failure, and that actually shuts down our heart from even wanting it. So we need to give each other the freedom to explore our newfound longings without accountability. And there will be a time when accountability is important. But guess who should be giving that accountability? I'll give you a clue. It's not your partner. It's your friends. It's your support groups. It's your women friends, your guy friends. It's don't make your partner the person who holds you accountable to weight, exercise, goals. Do you really want a school monitor as your partner? I don't think that's smart. I think keep your partner as an ally and be in it together. But have people outside of the contained relationship to help support you in moving forward in your life. And exactly the same in this room. Don't hold people accountable to the things that they say they're going to change and do. Agreed? Yes. Anybody not? Yay. You know how most people do commitment? They say, I will commit to you forever. You know, that's not really attractive to a guy. Forever. It's painful. And the reason why is because we like a mission. So when I say, can you be present and commit to Sunday night, there's a beginning now to Sunday night. Clear. You can be in. It feels good. It's like, yeah. If I said, can you commit to this retreat forever? You'll be like, no. Got other things to do. But here's the thing. This may not apply to those of you who've been in a couple for a long period of time where the trust and safety has already been built over many years. But a lot of new couples could be served with this piece of advice. When you make this agreement around commitment, set it up to be only for, say, a month. Say, I agree to be fully in this relationship for the next month. Now, that doesn't mean the relationship ends after a month and you find somebody else. What it means is at the end of the month, you check in and you celebrate all that worked. You look at what didn't, and then you recommit. But you have a time boundary to be in no matter what. Hell and high water, you're in. And you'll notice that your ability to be present in that month will be greater than if you said forever. Because forever, you'll think, well, I have to spread my presence between now and eternity. But if each and every single day was your chance to be that best version of you. See, the forever doesn't serve the best version of you. It serves mediocrity and entropy. And entropy means a ball doesn't roll uphill on its own. It goes down. And relationships suffer entropy because of the foreverness around them. Like if you knew your partner was going to go in a week's time, for whatever reason, whether they were going to unfortunately depart the earth, or like you would make it the best week ever. You'd be super present, super attentive, super caring, super considerate. But we don't do that because we assume it's forever. Closure, of course, is an important part of your relationship if your relationship feels like it's come to an end. Agree with your partner that if it comes to a time when either of you or both of you feel unhappy and you've done the work to see if it's repairable, but if you've come to the agreement that this relationship no longer serves, you agree to close consciously and with spaciousness. Spaciousness is the key here. To not get into a place of desperation, loneliness, and unhappiness in your coupleness, that while you're still together but in a disconnected, lonely state, you end up exploring and leaking and experiencing other connections, and you start to have somebody in waiting, like a backup. Now I just need to end this and I can move to this. I'm telling you, I've never met to this day a relationship that has worked when somebody has moved from one relationship to the next without properly closing and creating space between. Because whatever you don't close here gets carried over there. It's just a law of energetic couple dynamic. So there's a real vital importance that you keep containment and then close and then open to something new once you've decoded completely from that past relationship. So you're not carrying over. This carryover effect is a reason we perpetually move patterns and themes and we don't learn from one to the next. And the next person always appears to be different. You know that, right? It always looks different. The hair is different usually, and the eyes, and it all, we go, oh my God, I'm so glad you're not like my ex. And then a few months later, it's like, oh shit, you're my ex. Cleverly camouflages this new person. You know, that's what happens if we don't close properly. It's the same stuff, it just comes out slightly differently. Got it? Cool.